Hi everyone. So I've been covering the Gilets jaunes protests over in France, the yellow vest protests, and it's coming up now to its 26th week. Coming up now to half a year. And I've remarked in another video that I've done recently on how there's plenty of speculation at the moment as to whether or not there's a D notice on the media from reporting on the worst that we're seeing from the French police against the protesters, the barbarism, the barbaric way that they're just going off and clobbering these protesters. And D notice is one of those advisory DMSA notices, I think it's called, that the government put on the media in this country, and they say, yeah, don't report on this in the name of national security. That's what they say. There was a D notice on Skripal. On the Skripal affair with regards to the names Pablo Miller and Orbis Business Intelligence. There was a D notice on Christopher Steele when the Steele dossier came out. So this is how they're used. We've speculated because it's not just that the media aren't covering the worst atrocities that the French police are doing, but it's also that they're what they are covering and the way they are covering certain things. So first of all, I want to let everybody know just who Emmanuel Macron is. He's basically, you know, a plant from the bankers. These yellow vest protests started nearly half a year ago now because of his neoliberal policies. It's a backlash against neoliberalism. The straw that broke the camel's back was a planned increase on fuel tax duty on diesel fuel after he'd already give, you know, tax cuts to the richest 1%, etc. And these are cars that he had incentivized selling in the years before, selling to the poor and middle class of people. So it's hardly surprising that Emmanuel Macron ended up being this guy when you actually look at his history. I mean, this is in zero hedge, but you look at his history, you know, Emmanuel Macron's Rothschild years make him an easy election target. And they go on to detail some of his past here. He's basically, you know, a plant from the Bilderberg group is pretty much what he is. But like I say, it's curious to see how the media actually are covering this. Because, I mean, this is in New Statesman Records. The Gilets jaunes protests rage on. Police attempt to straitjacket the press. The recent arrest of 2 journalists at the demonstration is symptomatic of the hostile climate facing journalists in Macron's France. Yeah, this is just a couple of weeks ago. I mean, you would think that if we really did have a fourth estate, and there really was a world fourth estate, and there really was this camaraderie between journalists and media outlets, and that, we all are the fourth estate, and it's a very noble cause, you would think that they would be in solidarity with their journalists in France who are being arrested. There's this article that says, over the last months, Gilets jaunes movement has shone a light on police violence. Some protesters have been mutilated for life by police weapons. I'll come to that in a minute. And an elderly lady was left with a fractured skull after police knocked her over at a rally in Nice. Up until now, however, the French police have left the press relatively untouched. But on 20th of April, which marked the 23rd consecutive weekend of protests by the Gilets jaunes, so this weekend, yeah, it's going to end up being the 26th, police arrested 2 freelance journalists during a demonstration in Paris. Look at what they said. Says here, they were both filming the march. The police, however, cited their participation in a group planning to commit violence or degradations as the reason for their arrest. Qualan refused to hand in his camera and was detained for 8 hours, and Glans then spent the weekend in jail for raising the middle finger to police officers after one of their grenades almost hit him during the protest. A weekend just for sticking your finger up to these guys who were clobbering you around the head when you're just trying to do journalism. This is another reason why, you know, the journalism in this country really is showing itself up to be the fifth column that they are, because they're certainly not the fourth estate. If they were, they'd be all over this. They'd be all over it like walk on rice. Look at this. This is from Spiked. Nice little article this is. It talks about how it says this. Last week, during a raucous May Day protest, the Gilets jaunes ransacked Paris's Petit Salpêtrière hospital. Really? 32 protesters were arrested. This was an attack by an anti-capitalist ultra-left militant, according to France's Interior Minister Christophe Castaner. Except it wasn't. Video footage of the incident clearly shows the protesters seeking refuge as they are chased by scores of police officers, firing tear gas grenades and beating them with batons. Click on that actually, see if there's a video. There it is. I haven't seen this. Yeah, they just... Whoa! Those guys were... Whoa! I mean, they were literally just standing there, weren't they? I haven't seen this. Those guys are... The police are walking down there. The guys are literally just... They're walking along with him. He was walking along with the police. He's got nothing to do with the protesters. One of them bumps into him, and then the other police decide to start, you know what, kicking the shit out of him. They bumped into him. And now they're battering him. This is the sort of stuff that's going on. I see it all the time on social media. Like I say, video footage of the incident clearly shows the protesters are seeking refuge as they chased by scores of police officers, firing tear gas grenades and beating them with batons. The protesters were all released without charge, and the Interior Minister was forced to row back on his claim. So that's what's happening. The media are actually doing the opposite of what you would think that they would do. You would think that they would want to highlight this more, especially as, you know, they're seizing people of their own profession as well. But no, what they're doing is they're actually going along with it, and they're actually, you know, going along with whatever the establishment want them to do. But it's interesting. Excuse me. Just bear me a second. I've just been told that my stream health is bad, so I shall check it. Oh well, I'll carry on regardless. But you can see here that they're not reporting on it right. The media aren't, and I think one of the things that I thought was, surely this is affecting the police bad. I mean, surely there should be. I mean, not every police officer out there is a horrible, horrible man who's going to be smacking, you know, journalists on the back of their head as they're running away, but. You would think that it's affecting them. You know, there are human beings there. They're not all thugs. Well, it is affecting them by the look of it, because this is in France 24. Wave of police suicides in France sparks alarm. Not surprising, this isn't, when you look at, you know, what these police are doing and what their compatriots are doing. I mean, these protesters. They're protesting. It's for the police as well. It's the police are obviously. They want them to be better paid. I mean, this is. You would think that the police would be on their side, but no, they're not. The number of police suicides in France this year has risen to 25 after 2 officers were confirmed dead over the weekend after apparently taking their own lives. I looked at statistics. It's more so far this year. There were more deaths, more suicides from French police officers this year than there were in the whole of last year. So it's getting worse. We have learned with alarm, sadness, but also greater anger that yet another 2 officers have killed themselves, the French police union Alternative Police CFDT said in a statement on Sunday, April the 7th. This is going back a month. Few details have emerged so far about the victims. The first was identified as a 37-year-old woman who worked the night shift for a police station in the northwest Paris suburb of Conflans-Saint-Honorine. I'm sorry, my French is terrible. According to the La Parisienne newspaper. Let me just skip down. The second was a 49-year-old named simply as Christophe. Look at this. If proven true, that would mean that there has been an average of 1 police suicide every 4 days since January. Over the last decade, there have been an average of 44 law enforcement suicides a year in France, according to the official data. That figure spiked in 2014, where 55 officers took their lives. Just 4 months into 2019, there have already been half as many deaths. So it's a marked rise. You know, we're only in, this was April, these statistics were. So it's not about a third of the year gone, and still another 2/3 to go, and already it's half what it was at the height in 2014. It's already cleared what last year's suicide rates were. This is indicative of what they're being made to do, though, isn't it? It's indicative. And I just wanted to highlight it, really, just to show you that, you know, those people are human, or some of them are, and it's obviously affecting them. So it's not just the yellow vests protesters here that are being affected. However, they are. And if I was to give you just a couple of little statistics that I picked up on Friday, so Friday last week, this is before last weekend, so these statistics will no doubt be higher by now. So far in the yellow vest movement, 35 people have lost eyes as a result of flashball grenades, mostly flashball grenades. 7 people have actually lost hands. 7 people have lost hands. More people have lost hands more people have lost hands to the French authorities last year, I submit it to you, I reckon, than thieves lost hands in Saudi Arabia last year. You know, that's how bad it's getting. This has got to stop, and I'm firmly 100% behind the Gilets Jaunes movement in France. And I can't wait for it to come over here. I really can't. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Thanks very much for all your support. Can't do it without your support, so please, when I drop this video, there'll be links up there. Click them through to the website, find out how you can support me. We need a 4th estate, because we haven't got one at the moment. They're lying to you constantly. Thanks very much for your support. Till next time. Peace and take care.